before, purely roads leading in different directions. It must be difficult to manage all of this. She stood up and said that since she knew his wishes, she would probably go. The hero asked her to hold on for a while. He would like to talk to her. Lloyd rubbed his chin and asked if she was experiencing any strange difficulties now, such as a sudden influx of new arrivals. Siluria asked how he knew about this. The girl raised her eyebrows and said that about 400 refugees had arrived in Namaran, who had lost their home due to a wave of monsters. As far as they knew, someone had brought them to them on purpose. Lloyd frowned and thought that this was bad. He thought that the Namaran barrier was a spell that sucked out the life of people within the barrier. The spell began to work because the refugees had closed the number of lives that were needed to activate Canavero's magic. Lloyd lowered his tin and thought they had taken in all the refugees, but in the end there were still some who got into this country. He frowned and thought that if Canavero's plans were to go as planned in the novel, 1,000 Namaran citizens would lose their lives. He thought that then the knight who would bring death, the Knight of Hell, would be summoned. He thought that the knight's installation of the checkmate in the novel would be too much for even the ball master to handle, since his existence was like that of a god, which meant he thought that he would not be able to prevent the destruction of all life. Lloyd frowned and thought that this was much worse than what he was worried about. Lloyd turned around. Xavier was looking at him. The hero was holding a backpack and asked him why he was not preparing for the journey. What was that in his hands? He replied that these were letters that the ladies had left for him. He would go and leave them in his room. The brunette looked at the knight and asked what kind of letters. He replied that they were love letters. Xavier looked at him seriously and asked if he had not received a single letter. Lloyd looked at him and confirmed. The knight glared at the gentleman. The guy stared into space. The blue-haired man put the basket on the ground. He handed over a letter and said that he was ready to share one with him. Lloyd looked at him with disgust. He froze with hostility. The guy smiled maliciously. Xavier opened his eyes in shock. The hero smiled and asked why give him what belonged to him. He should hurry with the preparations. Lady Siluria was already waiting for them. The knight froze. He